15 minutes after the hour, and we work through this Monday. Thanks for joining us. Mark Oppold and I am joined by our friends from Allendale here once again as we began the day and working through the day. Great to have them as partners here as we continue on Market Day Report. And Jim McCormick joining us from the office here, getting started here on this Easter week. Jim, big day in Chicago, by the way, today. They're going to get the World Series flag flying for real.
Yep, pretty amazing. It was 108 years since we've had this day, so the city's definitely excited right now.
Yeah, we'll watch. Hopefully good weather for you there. All right, big day tomorrow. Well, I say big day, but whenever there's a USDA report, seems like the trade's going to watch it for at least, an hour or so. April report historically doesn't have a lot of surprises. I wouldn't think this one doesn't hold a lot of suspense, I wouldn't think, for the trade.
No, it's not. I mean, I think the trade is pretty much bracing its gut mark. It's going to be a bearish report. What makes this report interesting is they're going to take the data, the quarterly grain stock data that we got at the end of March, and plug it into the balance sheet for the report tomorrow. And with them pretty much finding corn, beans, and wheat stocks, they're going to pretty much add those into the carryout. So the trade's looking for bearish numbers across the board, and a lot of that's pretty much priced in, I would guess.
Yeah, I would think so. Take a look at the numbers here. U.S. Ending stocks numbers. Again, big numbers get bigger, just like big crops get bigger, Jim, as we say. Corn over 2 billion bushels here at the end of the 16-17 year. Soybeans, the average estimate at 447, and wheat 1.15. As you say, in your case, in your opinion, that's all those numbers are pretty well priced in.
I think so. I mean, like I said, we traded pretty much these numbers. The trade calculated what they thought once we got the numbers a few weeks back. We'll trade them, like you said. We may trade them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The computer, the analog traders trade it for a few moments. Then the professionals are going to, I think they're going to shift their attention right back to the forecast, plain and simple. And like your weather guy was saying, kind of cold and wet in the north, a lot of rain moving across the next couple of weeks. And what looked like was an early spring a few weeks ago now looks like maybe a normal spring with few people worried that maybe we'll start talking a late spring type planning situation.
Exactly. Take a look at corn. A lot of folks looking at the corn trade here and saying there's a rally starting or going to be coming here. We just don't know when. What do you think about that, Jim?
I agree with that. I mean, historically, we've always taken out 420 in the last 10 years. We've always taken out the insurance high, February high of 396. So I believe so. The funds are short corn. Somewhere down the line, I like to tell my customers they're sharks. They like to keep moving, and they're going to move it from a short position to a long position. You just need something that can get them excited, and this wet weather delay potentially could be what encourages them to reverse that position from short to long.
Very good. Yeah, 4 to 5 cents higher in the corn trade right now. New crop December up at 388.5. That's only a penny from the high of the day. Soybean trade, though, obviously the big crop in South America looming over this trade here. Number looks like it might be even more. It seems like every estimate sets a new record, and maybe another one tomorrow.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're hearing, I think the average guess for Brazil is around 110, but the heck, if it comes in 111, 112, it will not shock the trade at all. I think Agrel came out over the weekend on Friday at 111.6. So it is, like you said, big crops get bigger, and theirs, unfortunately for us, is getting bigger by the day, it seems.
And then the wheat trade here. There's some talk about wheat streak mosaic that reports a little more widespread than normal for early April.
Yeah, we are hearing a little bit. Yeah, I read that this morning. You got some disease issues popping up. Just like the corn, the funds are short a lot of wheat, and that right there might be enough to try to shake some of those shorts out and give us a little bit of a spring bounce, just like the corn.
Very good. Jim McCormick joining us from our friends at Allendale, and we will take a break, come back, and we'll see what he thinks about the livestock trade, cattle, feeder cattle, and hogs. Coming up, we continue after this. And welcome back. Jim McCormick joining us from Allendale, looking at the livestock trade here. And Jim, you and I were talking about the cattle trade, and you said, Mark, at the front of that line, you have to talk about the Chinese that may be re-welcoming, if that's a word, U.S. beef. Been a long time since they've allowed beef in.
Yeah, they pretty much blocked U.S. beef out of mainland China since 2003. Once we had the mad cow scare,
yeah.
They do take some beef from us, Mark. They kind of backdoor it through Hong Kong. So they don't. So what they're going to do is probably take more beef directly from the U.S. if they get this trade agreement done, and maybe Hong Kong will take a little bit less.
You think the trade is maybe getting ahead of itself, though? We take a look at live cattle futures. Beyond that, there isn't a lot of fresh news here on a Monday, but yet a dollar higher here, or they have been. April still up $1, but with that news, is the trade jumping ahead of itself? But there's still got a lot of room to work to the cash.
Oh, I believe so. Like you said, there's not a lot of news out there today. Cash hasn't traded yet, so they jumped on this headline. It's exciting to talk about. But the fact is, we're at the very beginning of this negotiations, and a lot's going to happen between now and when everything actually gets done. But, it's positive. That's why the market's reacting like it is today.
Very good. I'll get the numbers here. I want to get Jim McCormick is with us, get his thoughts on the hog trade. Lean hogs looked a little bit oversold, have for some time, but still, the best we can do right now, April and May, are unchanged at this moment.
Yeah, the hogs right now are definitely struggling. They're oversold. Seasonally, we might have another few more days of pressure, but the one thing to look forward to is we tend to see seasonal pressure to roughly April 14th, and then we tend to see a decent rally into about the beginning of May 12th roughly, to see a seasonal bounce. So hopefully we're near a low and can see that bounce that everyone's looking for.
Very good. I'll get the numbers here. Jim, thanks for your time, and congratulations to all the Cub fans out there. We're going to raise the flag in Chicago here in about an hour or so.
Thank you, and you have a good day.
You too. Jim McCormick from Allendale, right outside of Chicago. Big day there, hopefully good weather up there. All right, here are the numbers as promised. Live cattle, feeder cattle, and hogs at this moment. These are live quotes from the CME Group. All the arrows pointing higher in cattle. Jim McCormick saying maybe getting a little ahead of ourselves if indeed a lot of this up in the market is based on the trade talk about China reducing restrictions on U.S. beef imports. As he says, they been going back door with us getting it through Hong Kong. April live cattle, bottom line, and nonetheless up over $1. 121.15 is up $1.10. June more active, up 68 points, 112.48. That's again more than $1 from their high. They went up to 113.65 at the high today for June live cattle. Feeder cattle at this moment are higher, about double what the live cattle are. April up $1.77, over 135.5 here. May and August more active. May feeder cattle up $1.79, 135.67, and the August up $1.87 right now, 137.52, and that at August 137.52 after a high today, 138.28. We have the beef cutout here that at the top of the hour coming out here. Beef cutout starting out the day here at its lowest level since back in January, I believe it was. Beef cutout back in, March it was, but we are higher by just 13 cents, but at least the arrow is higher for the choice beef. Looking at the hog trade here, even though it looked oversold, as Jim McCormick says, we may have another week or so of a little bit of pressure, but historically can come back here at mid-April to mid-May. Right now, April down 4, 68.28. May hogs unchanged at $69, only 15 points from their high of the day. Jenna, keep an eye on that.